Alright, boys and girls, what's going on today? How we doing? My hair's fucked up because I keep playing with it. But yeah, what we doing today, boys and girls? Boys and girls, it's significantly less hot, which is lovely. I definitely need to stop playing with my hair though, because it's fucking going retarded as shit. We made a lot of progress recently on the game over the past days. I didn't stream yesterday, but we did a lot of stuff. So we added the slapper, we added the hot bar at the bottom, we gave these guys their stores. We changed this, so before it looked like this, where it just have one banner here. Now instead it has 3. And we changed the text too. Take a look at that. Wait, now we have to select it as well. So I'm gonna improve the tutorial a little bit. Oh, my earphones on. Oh, they died. One sec, I need to charge my earphones. Okay, we just got a different pair of earphones. Yeah, we also added the collection book, guys. And it already does say it here, but now we can actually see the collection book here as well. So, that's pretty cool. So, it's essentially ready to be released, to be honest. But we just need to add way more codes in the rest of the plots. Set up the rest of the banners too. And yeah, we're basically done. I think we should maybe change the income up here to show the amount that they actually have right now. That might be a good change to have. Let's see what this is saying. So one thing we did have an issue with actually was one sec. That's like a little bit of a janky fix, but I think we'll give that one a go. It's a little bit less hot today than it has been, so it's pretty sweet. I do want to watch the live from Epic, so I will watch that in the stream. So if anyone wants to watch it with me, we can do that. We do need to see we need to see how that actually feels, that change, because it might feel really horrible. Let me turn on the computer. I mean the Switch. Okay. Everybody, yeah. Everybody. Cool. Why am I not invited yet? Am I not showing? There we go. Turn to the lobby. It never lets me join. It's a bit weird. We just need to see if this change is kind of what we wanted. so hot. It's like a lot cooler, but it's still like boiling hot. I sprayed some deodorant on my armpit earlier, like way too close range, and my fucking armpit has been like frozen all day. Okay, let's launch session. Put my phone on charge. I should not be having bloody knee problems. Chilling with my family, doing what a dandy. Ba 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 ba. Lovely drink. Ooh-wee. I should have made it a cold coffee, but fuck it, we move. Maybe we'll have a more coffee for the rest of the day, and yeah, we'll see. I just want to see the slaps working correctly. But yeah, basically, to be honest, we're basically done. All we need to do is add some more images and some more packs. I was thinking to add in grading, which should kind of be easy with our... Grading would be easy with our collection book, to be honest, but I don't think I'm going to. Oh no, I fell through the floor. Pop. Pop. Yeah, also, island settings keep not saving. It's really strange. I keep having it to spawn immediately, but it keeps not saving. It's like really weird. Put on like 8 players, co-op. You just gotta ignite the light, let it shine. Close like the 4th of July. Baby, you're firework. Go and let your colors burst. Make them go Okay, let's see if the slap is working. Pushing. Oh, okay, it's still wrong. Is it still wrong? Yeah, it's still wrong though. Okay, so it seems to be storing the location / rotation of the previous slap, not the current slap. Pushing, getting ready for the fight. It's Windows or die. We do need to turn this into like a big amount of buttons. And then we'll also need to fix the images as well, because they're still broken. One thing I did want to test actually was if these worked properly on Switch. Seems to be working. Okay, cool. Slowly, little sympathy, sorry. Away, away. Pushing, getting ready for the fight. Pushing. Oh, it's so irritating. Yeah, okay. It's definitely storing the one before that. Just force them to open up the menu. So, some things that we need to do. Obviously fix those textures, but let me just write down kind of everything. And we'll still need to test this as well. So let me write everything down real quick. So we need to improve the tutorial. I've already got most of this written down, but now that I've changed it a bit, we're gonna have to continue. So improve tutorial, especially with like we changed how the pack opening works. So once they claim the plaque, they should get told how to use the inventory. How to place. Okay, let's just see if this works real quick. I think we should add like a claim money button, like a floating text. Collect money, I guess, not claim. Yeah, I think this live stream will mainly be just fixing the or not fixing, making the tutorial better, and then we'll watch the discovery live. Hopefully I don't get like copyright striked. Maybe we add in the add like and favorite widgets, and the other one was the cinematic. Moving the buttons as well was a thing to do, so that you can kind of see the stuff when you're doing it. One sec, let me just... Oh, it's still doing it. Whatever. I'm not gonna stress about it actually, we'll just leave it as it is for the time being. I really get frustrated by how often it does that. It takes you out of the game. I should stop that falling issue we keep getting. It's a waste of time to actually press launch session just because of that. It's okay though. I guess in here, I'm gonna just close the switch. We don't really need it much anymore. In our plot, let's change the summary rate banner. To have the current accumulated resource instead of the amount per second. I feel like people would probably prefer to see how much they've actually earned up there instead of the whatever I got on there right now. Let's go and move this here and just say like clicked whatever. We can make this blue or green, who knows. Might even change this to be green actually. It's a good idea because it's more money colored. We love the money. We love the money. Bring me my money. So I guess we can just change this to a light green. Looks good. Okay. Do it with this one to like a darker kind of green, I guess. Oh. What was that noise? Maybe the switch turning off? I don't know. Save. Okay, that looks like about right, I guess. And simple emissive, we can go change that too. Let's get that a nice green, greeny weeny. Okay. And then here, here, we want make sure this has no collision. Real quick. Collision, no. Collision, no. Collision, no, no. Cool. C. 21? No. 19. No. Oh. L, it's like 9, right? 11. No. Koleku. Okay, I messed up a bit. T, we on a T here. Right. No. 3. 21 is like 19, right? No, it's 20. Okay. And then let's just set this to be green. Just like the rest of it. Main color green. Maybe we'll go like a dark green. That looks horrible. We'll stick with white. Has it done this? Or did it want changes? Yes. Cool. Yeah, I can. It's hard to breathe last night of how hot it was. I was like dying. Like I really didn't sleep the day before, and then I barely got a couple of hours just because of the heat. It's gonna feel like another one of those days, I think. We actually had like a million mosquitoes come through the window. They wanted to suck on my blood. But I said no, not today, thank you. Well, they went away. A very polite group of insects, bugs, whatever. That's not this edit session is gonna happen anytime soon, right? I'm gonna load up the YouTube channel of Epic. Ready for their live stream today at 7 o'clock. We will be waiting for that live stream, but you can, if anybody's here want to watch it with me, feel free. Watch party type thing, I don't know. Wait, when was that? It's in 50 minutes, right? Is this even still connected? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, I feel like it's disconnected. Chat is very inactive today. You guys do not like me. I'm obviously watching it, so there's 2 people here and none of you want to say anything. Making me feel lonely. It's okay. I don't think this Fortnite's ever gonna open. Certainly doesn't seem that way. Do you know what's crazy though? You can't even get YouTube on the Switch 2. I thought maybe it was just me trying to download it incorrectly, but you literally can't have YouTube on the Switch 2. Some bullshit. We're just gonna close Fortnite. It's clearly not opening. That kind of shit takes a couple minutes typically, not 5 years. I wonder what the new Fortnite update is even going to be about. Have they even said anything yet? Next Fortnite update, because I don't feel like they said anything. Alright. So our last thing was about Overwatch. This was May the 14th. Has anybody used this thing yet? I want to use it at some point, but I'm a bit skeptical of it, to be honest. I'll probably wait till more people have used it. Yeah, so I'm thinking we add kind of like I might have to look through my other like, wait, if I just click static meshes, surely static mesh should be a filter, right? What the hell? There's kids outside screaming. Yeah, surely this should be a filter. Oh, it's there. I'm blind. Yeah, I just want to quickly look through because I'm kind of wanting a table type thing, but I don't see one that I want. I could make it myself actually. Let me just quickly look. Maybe table or stand. Okay, so that is the stand. We already used this kind of thing. So we want it kind of like this, right? Maybe much thinner than that though. Like that. Looks about right. Maybe we can scale it up slightly, right? But yeah, we're gonna make it long. Maybe we want the player reference next to it. Yeah, so that'll be too high. We want it like, oh, like arm height. It's really cool that they added that. It's like the first good thing they've done in a long time. Yeah, I think something like that might work. And then we just grab like a board or sign, whatever. Let's look for all the signs though. Maybe we just use the painting frame, just so like piecing them together, kind of. But it looks like the frame is actually transparent. Okay, never mind. Like this, right? But let's just do this real quick. I'm thinking something like that. How does that look? Looks horrible. Probably like that, right? Make it slightly thinner. It still does look kind of funky, but maybe it's chilled though. And we just put like just the base color, I guess, like a flat brown. Okay, it's like it's getting there, I guess. And then this one, I want it to be like the same type of brown as the wood. And then we can just move these buttons. We'll probably delete the word previous and next. And we'll just use these on their own. I'm not sure if this is like much better than how I had it before, to be honest, but I guess the feedback said so, so we'll just abide with that. So about there. We'll change the rotation a little bit, something like that, right? Okay. Let's put Cardinal on 2. Let me just drag this into the same kind of position. And then we want to move it over here and copy its rotation. I think something like this should work a bit better than over there. It doesn't look very nice actually though, does it? It doesn't feel centered either. I think it's just the mesh isn't symmetrical or equal sides on each one. What's probably the better idea is having these meshes to be one sec. So let's put this on arrows, mesh, and we'll just throw the mesh on it, right? Cool. We want to go into the like deeper editor. Whatever. Right. Delete arrows mesh. We'll just make a new one. That's already kind of stretched. So I don't want it stretched. Okay. So blueprint. Building prop. SM underscore. Arrow. Prop. Whatever. We'll throw a static mesh in and we'll make a custom button for each one. So a static mesh, we can just use the default one. That's called plain. plane, please. And then we choose the material of, I think, what did I call it? I know I called it some silly name. Yeah, M card unknown. I don't know why it's called that still. Oh well. Cool. Let's just save that, and we're gonna now set this mesh to be this. It saves us that, I guess. And we just try it, previous page. And we look for an arrow. Custom mesh. What did I even call it? SM underscore mesh arrow. Okay, I'm certain I did call it SM underscore arrow prop. Alright. Blueprint class. What did I do this with? We'll try again. I think maybe it's building static mesh instead of building prop. It's the only reason why I can think it's not showing. I must have done it wrong. Okay, let's see now then if it shows. No, it still isn't showing. What am I doing wrong? Because I feel in the past this is how I've done it. Whatever. We can just go do it through modeling. It will create the same result anyway. So, modeling. Rectangle. Can I see the rectangle? Yes. Arrow. Ooh. Damn. Do you know what? Actually, no. That's just like RAM performance and no real reason. As beautiful as it looks, we will not do that. Let's go and change this name to rectangle into SM underscore arrow prop. This is the UI material that we have, but we don't need it on the screen as well, I suppose. We called it unopened. No, I swear I called it unopened. Ah. Okay, I'm losing the plot, I guess. There it was. No, leave me alone. I don't know what I did. Okay. Right, I can just filter from materials. Are you going to join the live Fortnite create? Yeah, I'm gonna join it while I'm live streaming. That's my plan. How you doing today, Fallon? Did you say on X you was making nearly finished the Roblox map? What you making over there? Okay, there we go. Zero these all out. We want it like that. Ba-boom. Ta-da! Let's put it on, where is it? Local space, like that. Selection mode, and then maybe like 2. And you're kind of looking at it from this way, so it should be fine. Like here, but then rotate it slightly. And then back 1. There you go. Happy days. You're getting looking good, best looking Discovery. Yeah, I seen Discovery's absolutely cooked right now. Oh, okay, I'm inside a pack. But it's actually, the map's gone really good. We're like essentially done, right? While I didn't live much, but I didn't stream much yesterday because I didn't get any sleep. I literally had 0 hours sleep, so I worked on the map, but because I didn't sleep, I thought it's best not to go live. But yeah, we got the collection book done. That's all working with our assets. We got the slapper stuff at the bottom. You can change pages and stuff with the inventory. On the bottom, we can slap people. Where is it? These don't work, but it don't work with a test player either, but it works with real players. We got the persistence working. We changed these so it shows money differently now. It's like well more organized. The only thing that's like a bit worse is now we have to place the pack from the inventory. But other than that, it's like overall pretty good. See it showing our money per second up there. We changed this as well. What else? Yeah, we added look stores. Look store and pack look. And then yeah, it's basically done, to be honest. Yeah, no, I did want to sleep, but it was just too hot. I think I went bed at 4 o'clock. Like this was yesterday, day before, whatever. I don't know. Yesterday, I don't know. I got in bed at 4 o'clock. I watched Harry Potter, the first one, and I still wanted to sleep by 6 o'clock. So I thought, fuck it, get back out of bed. And I only got 6 hours sleep today. Hopefully I get like 8 hours of sleep when I go to bed later. But yeah, I know it's good to get sleep. My heart even didn't feel pretty good. I often don't sleep. And I just drink a boatload of coffee to make it go away. What's up, Kakashi? Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm going to have a heart attack. Like my heart goes... feels like strained, I guess, but it's chill. We're chilling. Wait. Obviously, hopefully I don't have one. That would be nice. I do enjoy living. But yeah, overall, yesterday we did make loads of good improvement. I was actually what was it? I was going to go to bed in the morning, in the afternoon, right? But I got told I was going to have a phone call in the afternoon, so I waited for it. And then by 5 o'clock, I ended up falling into a nap, and they rang me at 5 o'clock, even though they said they was going to ring me at 11. Collection looks clean. Appreciate that. It's already made, to be honest, from template. But yeah, it's all working. If I go to the next page, you see our blurry ass image. I do need to fix the first couple of textures. But yeah, look, let's quickly buy some block and shit. And you can see so basically all you got to do now is just add loads of improve the tutorial, add more stuff to the packs, and yeah, it's ready, to be honest. Let's see some of these rarer packs. What's the loop of this core gameplay? This is just opening packs, to be honest. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good, no? I think we'll probably turn this into a question mark instead of showing their image, but I don't know. We'll see. I think my brain isn't really turned on today, to be honest, because of the still sleep deprived. Oh, I'm dying. Sorry about that. Sorry about your ears, guys. Fuck you, Fortnite. Yeah, we're getting close to being done. Okay, yeah, we need to do the same thing for this one next. Put this arrow part left, duplicate this, and then put other material on it. Let's make these invisible quickly as well. Then we can have more of like a look at how it's gonna be. Did I not just duplicate that? Am I tripping? I'm probably tripping if it's not here. Bro, I highly advise you walk daily, get sun. No, I do walk daily, don't worry. I can't sleep regularly though. Yeah, so as soon as I wake up, I go walk for 30 minutes, and I do go to the gym as well. I haven't been gym for like 5 days though, actually, but I normally go about 4 times a week, in between 4 and 6 times. I've been really focused on getting this map out that I kind of forgot. No, not forgot. I knew to go yesterday, but it was, my heart was going to blow up, so I decided not to, I guess. Okay, let me just copy the rotations, right? Yes. Oh, where you going, you melon? Something like that probably looks okay, I think. It's the 10 coffee, 10 energy drink a day. Yeah, I do drink a lot of caffeine. Caffeine is amazing. What do you outside UEFN? No. I've been looking for like a normal job recently, to be honest, because I've ran out of my like saved money, and I am not cooking right now in terms of money in ones. I did have like quite a bit saved, and I have like a massive what's it called? I have a massive overdraft, right? But yeah, I'm looking for a normal kind of job as well at the moment. Ideally, it would be like part-time, so I can still do all of this. But yeah, recently I've not earned that much from Fortnite. I earned some money on Patreon and affiliates, but Yeah, this month is like my lowest month in terms of money in like 2 years. So it's not that great. I'm trying to build a ring farm in UEFN, and what will your be advice for me to make that rarity index so I can make sure each player unlock correct? To be honest, Claude did like all of this, so I can't give much good advice. My advice, I guess, would be is if there's many index things, I think what's it called? Frozen prawns. There's like a collection book video. I didn't watch this, but I was gonna copy this, but I got, in my opinion, a better one already. So you'd probably be able to figure it out by watching this video, or just screenshotting it and sending it to Claude. I'm also not sure what you mean by ring farm, to be honest. What's a ring farm? But we're going to be watching the live if you guys want to watch it with me. It's a trending game on Roblox. Build a ring farm. Okay. I did go on Roblox yesterday to play Slime RNG. It's like a successful simulator. There hasn't been many successful simulators on there recently, but that one popped off. I think I've actually already completed it, to be honest. I like completed it all in. I completed it while this was loading. Okay. Yeah, I would say that looks like, if we compare, if it starts fucking running me about, I'd say like this old version. So Danger, I had him play for a couple of minutes, and he didn't like that you have to come here to change the, like, to change it and stuff. So over here kind of is better, right? And then now you can see the page change. So that's cool. That was a good suggestion. So. Yeah, we're just gonna improve the tutorial. Burbaloni Lubalonely. Yeah, it says in general, it's basically ready. Yeah, think about it. It's got everything it needs. We got 20 minutes left until they go live. I don't think they're gonna say anything useful, but who knows? Maybe they say something useful. I doubt it, but we can hope. I've seen a lot of people make really good maps recently, and they're just not getting any discovery. So I'm not really sure that this one will. But we'll see. Bro, I usually use Gemini for verse. I never use Opus. What do you think if you have any? Yeah, so I originally started in ChatGPT, and it was for me it was pretty shit, to be honest. Then Gemini was okay. It wasn't that good though. And then I started using Claude, and Claude just was crazy. And the thing is, I did actually kind of give it the same kind of information, But yeah, it just couldn't really do it for me. As well, the thing that I really like about Claude is my prompts are quite retarded. I'm very illiterate to it. I will say something that won't even make sense, and it will still understand what I want. Whereas with ChatGPT, if you tell it to do something, it kind of just does exactly what you say, which is good and bad. It's good if your prompt is very very specific and there's no ambiguity in it. It can just know exactly what it needs to do. In that way, ChatGPT can do okay. But yeah, typically Claude, you just give it a screenshot. Even I started using it in here. I don't normally use it in here, but yeah, I just decided to use it in here for today, and it's done a good job. I mean, I like ChatGPT for the images. That's the only thing I use it for nowadays. Ready. I don't like that saying ready. What does it say without it? It shouldn't say ready though. What would I want it to say though? Because this one says collect. I really want to spend money now on... I really don't spend money now. I am negative debt, but I will take risk later if Claude gives discounts. Okay, so I'm not saying to do this because it might not still work, but I brought the I think either the 90 or the 120 for the first time I brought it. I got 3 weeks or 2 weeks into it, and then I said, can I get a refund? And then they refunded me. I was like, what the fuck? I was so surprised. But then I just resubscribed right after, so yeah, it doesn't work. It's not like a continual thing that you can do. They just kind of for the first time, I guess. So yeah. I wonder if these are... Where is it? We will be watching this. If you guys are watching it with me. Thanks, I'm going to watch the live stream. Let me see how much lie bullshit they tell. Yeah, we'll see, I guess. Everybody's already in the comments. What will go wrong? Tom Jank, super chill, normal stream. Well, I mean, we'll see, right? Fix discovery. I wonder if they answer any question. That'll be interesting to know. But yeah, we're going live in 12 minutes. I guess you don't want to just see me stare at this, so... yeah, I guess, oh, blimey. We just gotta put that on those. And we'll see then. Dun dun dun. I'm gonna just go delete all the buttons. It'll just make it a little bit easier to set it all up. See you soon. Take good care of your health. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Baba Booey. Alright. I just copy these. 1, 2, 3. The base folders, whatever, it's not going to be correct. I'm not really going to be very fussy about that though. Let's delete those. I didn't click this, supposedly. So yeah, 4 things selected. Oh yeah. And then we put it about there. We put it in line with that, right? So kind of on the right of it. Yeah, that's right. What's up, Michael? How you doing today, sir? You ready? Are you watching the live or no? Then just get all 4 stands. Turn off shadows, and then same with the picture frame. No, I didn't plan to watch it. Ah, okay. I mean, I don't think they're going to say anything anyway, but I'm going to tune in. This one is about discovery though, right? Yeah. Should be fun. You want to see the collection book we got for the map? It's pretty cool. Although I don't really feel we needed one because we have the wall. But I got told that people like the collection book. I mean, it's the same kind of thing really, in my opinion, but yeah, we've got a collection book now. These are really annoying me, to be honest. They don't feel I don't feel right. And we got all of our stores and shit as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Collection book work playground. Yeah. I mean, that's like kind of the only reason people play it. Like once they got enough stuff, they just want to finish it off. Say they want the last mythic one, then they'll grind for it. I guess we'll see. But yeah, the map's basically done, to be honest. I'm just waiting for the live. Watch the live. I don't think I'll get a copyright strike from watching it on stream. Guess we'll find out. One thing actually I wanted to add was a UI thing, so let's go do that. I want to go into Claude and ask it to create me like a, what's it called? Some verse UI. Where it is going to show when a person opens a pack in the top left. And I think it'll look pretty cool. You know, similar to the, I don't know what it's called anymore. Similar to the kill feed kind of thing. The elim feed. Ooh. There we go, message feed device, that's the one. Similar to that. What's it called? Does it need a stack box? I'm not sure. Okay, I've wrote it into Claude. I normally provide it a bit of code, but this time I'm just going to assume it's got enough knowledge to do it without it. Not it either. There we go, that's the one. Ting tang, walla walla bing bang, ooh ee ooh ooh ah. I don't know if I should do it for every pack or not though. Probably right. Every pack that opens, say, like card X, like bronze, whatever, rarity X, player, okay, how long should each one stay? 5 seconds. How rich should it be? Okay, there we go. I've messaged Claude, telling it everything. Are you close with your map, Mike? Or Mikeland? We had so many mosquitoes in this room yesterday, it was horrible. But yeah, we're just gonna got a couple of things left to do, and yeah, it won't take long. The reason I didn't make it inside of here, I have been doing stuff in there, is just simply because I don't want it to break or fuck something up. Okay, that's weird. Randomly just got loads of errors. One sec. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These ones down here is fine. It's just because the button it just got removed. But the other stuff was concerning me. Checking again. That should be the device error's gone. Error. Oh, I can't wait to go to sleep. I'm so tired. I'll probably have this last coffee and then won't have any more. Okay. See if it's done this yet. What does your got 3 minutes left on that. Which code has my card revealed / unpacked in? And I'll just resend the first version. I think maybe it's in pack state, I don't know. But yeah, this live, I don't think we can expect anything good from it. But It's still good to keep up to date, even if they're gonna chat nonsense, I guess. Okay. Pack state. Yeah, okay, I think it's in pack state, so we'll send a pack state. I think it's in pack state. Here is my pack state code. Let's discover. Okay, so they lied. They're giving themselves an extra 3 minutes. We got scammed. Hope is all we can have. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, to be honest. But now Bebo's map, right? I mean, he's still got loads of players, to be honest. But considering he's got this many followers and good stats, right? 50-minute playtime, 40-minute average with whatever, right? And then he's still got out of discovery. He literally has 100 players still. Good stats with a high player amount, so that means these are kind of accurate, right? Because high playtime with low player count isn't as truthful, I guess, in average player. But yeah, even so, he still isn't even getting into Tycoon. So it's kind of crazy, to be honest. Anyway, let me send my Claudy code. Unpack. Wait, Fortnite. Projects. Unpack. In here. Pack state. Okay. I see it. They're live. I mean, I imagine we would have heard some kind of sound, even though I got unmuted. I got some like fucking, what's it? Like 70s porno type music. Okay. Watch me get fucking copyright striked, you bastard. Sorry, let me turn that off. I forgot about that. They probably got like license to that, and they're just getting banned. Bloody bastard. Right. How's Claude getting with the code though? Dun, dun, dun. You. Okay, they're live. Let's see what they say.
Jeremy, also known as Squatting Dog. I'm here with two incredible, epic.
Let me turn up the quality.
Discovery, epic.
I'm a reaction channel now. Let's go.
Discovery gurus. And
Hi
we're going
guys,
to dive in
we're
and
doing
talk
a
about
reaction
Discovery
video
together.
to
My goal is
Let's
to
Chat
hopefully
Discover
go
with
deeper
Squatting Dog.
into a lot of the questions that the community wants and desires. And my hope is that we can come from this conversation with more clarity of the direction that Discovery is going.
Clarity, we
And
like that sound.
learn more about how it currently operates. It's no surprise that Discovery is not
Can I
a
turn up
topic
volume? Yeah, of course.
of friendliness right now. it's actually one that is
that good?
pretty tough to be in for small developers all the way to big developers. And I think like we're at a place where
Bro just said what?
Not all the way to big
He
developers.
just said
And
it's a hard
think,
place
like,
to be for
we're at a
small
place where
developers to big
frustration
developers. So everyone
is at the
essentially.
forefront of a lot of people's minds. And Discovery has been fairly exhausting for a lot of us. And so my goal is to represent those frustrations and kind of direct them in a respectful way to these developers and hear from them in a way that hopefully can impact our futures together as a community and as we move forward. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Harold and John. And I would love to ask what you guys do at Epic Games and get some clarity there first. And then I'd love to just start this thing off and dive into some heavy hitters.
Sure.
Heavy hitters, okay.
Hey guys, I'm Harold. I've been with Epic for about 5 years. I'm currently working as a senior director focused on Discover. Prior to Epic, I ran an independent mobile studio for about 13 years. Super excited to talk to you guys about this super important area. And gonna hand it over to John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I also am the senior director at Epic, working on Discover, but I also lead Epic's analytics function. I feel like me and Harold are like right brain, left brain of Discover. He's the creative one, and I'm not the creative one. I've been at Epic for 2.5 years.
Of Discovery.
But I've been in video game data for longer than that, about almost 7 years now. Really just thinking about players and data and how we can make game systems better.
Well, thank you guys so much for actually hosting these.
How they
I know
both directors
that it's not easy to be able to kind of like throw it all out there, but truly from the community, these types of live streams have gone a long way in terms of understanding and hopefully just meeting in the middle wherever we can. Obviously, we're in the weeds quite a bit. We experience the product, and you guys are creating the product that influences, you know, like some really significant changes in our own lives of success or failure and all these different things. And so I just want to say thank you before we get started. So I appreciate you guys being here and being willing to chat about these things. So with my first question, we'll just dive right into it because we got so much to talk about with Discovery. But my first question is it too late to revert the latest changes to Discovery? Is it too late? But like, why? Nice. Why did we change Discovery recently? And why does it feel like to us a step backwards and not one that is a step forwards?
Yeah, it's such a great question. I mean, it's something we see all the time online. We're listening and kind of seeing the feedback. We're asked this quite often: is, you know, can we revert the latest Discovery? The reality is like a daily board meeting to laugh. The changes that we've made is there's not a single change that was made to Discover. It's sort of a series of changes that we've been making in order to drive us to our goal. Discover was like a bit of a hoarders type of situation, if I'm honest. You know, stacked floor to ceiling with duplicative content and spam, low quality experiences. You know, prior to making some of these changes, we would frequently see online, you know, feedback from you guys, from developers saying like, every time I go into Discover, it's always the same things. And if I scroll through the rows, I'm kind of seeing the same games over and over and over again. And so, you know, just like a walking into like a hoarder's house, that's kind of the situation that a lot of people would find when they get into Discover. And so we are in a very difficult process of like pulling everything out of the house. It turns out if you have a lot of stuff in your home like that, you know, the floors kind of need to be repaired, paint needs to be placed on the wall. And that's the process that we're in right now. That's kind of the current situation we find ourselves in. We haven't kind of moved the furniture in, thrown a big party yet, but that's the area that we're kind of moving towards, is slowly and surely ensuring that we're making sure we're cleaning up things, making it super stable, looking for signals that are really resonating with our players and our developers, and wanting to get to this place where we feel really excited about it. But like any home, the renovations are never going to be done, right? Like even after you throw that big party, you have that big dinner at your house, you're going to want to renovate your bathroom, or you're going to find a broken pipe somewhere. And so that's sort of like the analogy, the way we're thinking about Discover. The reality is when we kind of look across,
do you reckon he's just reading the script?
Look across Discover, we're seeing that even though the changes are significant and the transitions haven't been kind of like seamless for us, we are seeing that some positive signals. If you publish into Discover today, the reality is that you have a 2 times higher chance of reaching significant CCU, starting to get 100 plus, and we would see a lot of islands in the past Discover where you'd publish and it really wouldn't resonate at all. We kind of weren't seeing the data signifying that you were going to get to success. So
nowadays you got 2 times chance to get over 100 CCU,
but not undermining the fact that we're in a
before.
Difficult process right now of going through and cleaning up Discover and addressing a lot of the critical things that developers and players were calling out alike.
Well, everyone was just calling out spam.
Harold,
and
I'm kind of curious though, like,
they just put on a shitty
what
fucking
you're saying, like
detector.
that data that you have suggests that the community sentiment is that that's not true. Like, how? I'm kind of confused at how those two could be the same. Is there any clarity you could bring to that of just like people, putting new and updated maps out there and it just not cycling back into Discover? Could you just clarify a little bit of that? Because, even chat's just a little bit like, I don't think so. Like, that's not my experience. So curious of what any other further depth that you could bring to that.
Yeah, John, you wanna talk a little bit more about what we're seeing?
This guy is sunburned.
I mean, maybe just a couple of things, just like stepping back.
He needs to stay inside.
Looking at the data is one thing, and like hearing people is another thing. And I want to be super clear, like especially from me and Harold's perspective, like this ecosystem only succeeds if creators believe in it and like creators trust in us, and it only succeeds if players are here to play games. If we're not making Discover successful, if we're not like surfacing the right content to players, both of the islands aren't succeeding, both of those things won't work. So all of our incentives are like aligned
2 times less
best possible
lying
system. So I want people to know we all want the same thing. We all want creators to succeed. On like the data side, there are a lot of things that we're looking at. I think one of the most important things that we've been really focusing on as one of our first like big rocks is like this notion of like traction. How many new islands are actually getting traction? How many are getting like 100 unique players, and how fast are they getting to that? And right now we are very confidently seeing in the data that many more islands, almost twice as much like proportionally from before we made all these changes in the end of April and like, been thinking about it, but 2 times as many islands are getting over 100 unique players. And I don't want to say this to,
over
people
100 unique players. That's not really very good,
challenges
is it?
Too. Like it's true. And the truth is like there are developers, I think, who have found ways to be successful in previous iterations of Discover that just might find less success now based on how we're changing our approach. I'm going to talk more about that. Like, what are the things that lead to success?
That's what we want to know.
But I think those are 2 true things. We are overall seeing, more new islands being successful. The Fortnite player base is about the same size, so not everyone can win. Some islands are winning and some islands are losing, and some of the things that might have worked before just might not work as well right now. And like we have to, all explore that together.
Thank you for diving into that a little bit. I have a really funny story. Like, we were at World Summit when you guys released the new Discovery changes, and the topic at World Summit was Discovery. And Chad was the one that was speaking on Jogo's behalf, and it was really funny because like everything shifted in that moment. And then they went on stage to talk about it, and it was like, well, today we don't know. Like we have no clue like what that means for our maps, everybody's checking their maps, like scrolling, like to see if numbers plummet, move, and all that stuff. So I think one part of this that's really extremely frustrating, like, is just the lack of communication prepped ahead of time. Like, why does this happen, at Epic? Why don't you guys provide roadmaps to developers if you guys are making changes in a direction? And it makes it really hard for us to know if something's like a glitch, a test, permanent. And it's really
not
hard
even
to
roadmaps. It's just they just change stuff
discovery.
and don't tell us at all.
And I think that's tough.
Right.
Like when we're all trying to make our own businesses, we're all trying to also, find success. Why isn't there a roadmap involved to let us know like where we're moving in a trajectory or direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think let's step back a little bit and talk about kind of the why, and then kind of get into exactly the rollout, because I think those are handled really well in two different parts. I think starting off, like just set ground level. John and I care deeply about this area. We care deeply about, prior to Epic, like I mentioned, I was an independent developer. I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a big platform shift. And we care deeply about this space. We're listening all the time, looking at data, looking at, what developers are saying publicly, what developers are reaching out to us independently and sharing with us. We're taking all that really seriously. I think it's really helpful to understand, like, kind of what got us here. What we,
that is a valid question.
As far as the goal and the vision is, we want to develop a version of Discover that every time a player comes into Discover, they feel incredibly great finding the next best game that they're going to play. At the same time, developers are building these kick-ass games, and we want to make sure that every time you build one of those games, that you're finding your audience, you're finding the right players that want to engage and play with your games. In order to meet kind of both of those things, we have to kind of go through and look at Discover and making sure that it's fitting a number of things. And one of the areas that we're really committed to is this idea of Discover being very personalized, right? You go into Discover today, it's pretty much the same for every single person. We've been working in this space and kind of looking at things like For You, and we found even in the last couple of weeks as we've been making these massive changes to For You, that players are really resonating with it. And we can see in the data that
hasn't everybody been saying they want
almost 10% of all clicks that are happening in Discover outside of Home Bar, which we'll get into later, I'm sure, are happening at the For You level. Players are looking at For You and they're really engaging with that. We're taking all that knowledge and kind of like all that information and bringing that personalization to all of Discover. So starting today, actually, at the end of today, we are going to be doing some personalized row ordering, so that your Discover, Jeremy, is going to be very different than mine or John's. And if you are heavy into combat, you're going to find those combat genre rows sitting at the top of your Discover experience. And I'm playing a lot of Droid Tycoon right now, so going to probably see a lot more Tycoon and simulators. But having some deeply personalization is a real part of the solution here. As far as why we did what we did and what we had to do, there's sort of like 5 things that we had to do to accomplish this. The first was the hardest part, kind of looking through all of Discover and clearing out spam, clearing out low quality derivative content. We're doing this. We started this a couple weeks back, pretty aggressively. We've been doing it through pre-publishing, and we've been doing it through both ML and manual reviews of content. We're also needing to highlight metrics that Discover cares about. So we did this through our documentation, and we'll talk a little bit about sort of the rollout of that and kind of looking back what we would have done differently, and a clear work back plan to ensure that you guys aren't in the dark, that when we say these are metrics you care about, that we want to make sure that Creator Portal is showing up with those metrics, or at least revealing them in ways that you guys can access them easily and understand their impact on your game. We need to provide guidance to you guys as developers, guidance on how to best showcase your guys' games across Discover. And we've started to do that with the thumbnail best practices, which I know are controversial, but those are areas that kind of aligns with the vision we're going towards for Discover. And we're going to continue to roll out additional documentation around best practices on how to showcase your high quality games within Discover. We also want to deliver, better content and refreshing it more often. So I know we'll get into this in detail probably too, with things like 50,000 impressions that we had previously. But the reality is that we're looking at games and we're realizing that we can identify on certain genres of games much quicker than we could with 50,000 impressions and rolling them in and out and making sure that we're refreshing content more often, making sure we're getting the best content in front of players. Because the reality is we only have a certain number of plays that we can dish out across Discover. And so if we're, giving out plays to a lower quality experience and something that's not really resonating, that's taking away CC or plays from other developers. And then lastly, we don't think the player experience of Discover is quite there yet, and we're really excited about some changes that we have to the player experience of Discover. And we think you guys are going to be really excited about it too. We're going to talk about it very openly on RealFest in a couple weeks. So that's sort of like the why and the breakdown of kind of like the steps that we've gone through. In terms of looking back, things we would have changed, things that John and I talk about all the time are, we had a plan that we realized pretty quickly that Discover was sort of not going to just iterate itself to this more idealized version of Discover. You guys have been along for this ride for a very long time. You have seen like incremental changes, and the reality is like, in previous conversations like this, there were frustrations then too of like, oh, this isn't working, that's not working, and we tried to increment our way for a very long time, but the reality is we need to make some pretty drastic changes. We saw an opportunity to sort of advance those plans, and we did. I think looking back, we probably would have done it differently in terms of definitely getting the documentation out earlier to developers so that it didn't feel like such a thrash for them. And what we can say is, we're committed going forward that we're going to make sure we're clearly communicating, and hopefully a lot of you have experienced that already, clearly communicating with you guys as we're making changes, being more open, and we could talk more about things like glitches or tests that you guys are curious about. But that's sort of the breakdown of the why and kind of like the various steps that we had to go through in order to get us where we're at today.
That's a big can of worms you just opened up. I also want to mention that, just to mirror this back, this is the first time we're hearing about the For You prioritization, right? Like, is there a plan to let us know ahead of time, or are we as developers supposed to be reactive? Is there any benefit of being proactive so that we can have the opportunity to adjust our games to fit in an ecosystem that it's, on top of?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at our documentation, we talk about the importance of personalization and how we wanted to move more closer towards that. And, the row ordering is sort of the first step towards that. We're going to continue to do more of that. We can talk openly about that even here, where we want to be proactive, not just personalize Discover from these genres are going up here and these genres are going down here. But even within the rows themselves, we're also going to be looking at players and how they are engaging with content and ensuring that those also feel very personalized. So ideally, we're tuning Discover in a way that players are really resonating with, no matter what area they're in, right? They don't have to just simply go to the popular row and say, oh, this is the popular thing, or this is the buy Epic area, but it's like, oh no, this thing understands me. That's the goal that we're trying to move towards. And yeah, today is the first day that we're gonna roll out. That first step is personalized rows.
So let's talk about it a little bit. Like, I mean, I think we're trying to solve a problem here, right? Like, Fortnite player plays Fortnite, and if they look at what games are available to them and it doesn't have any staying power with what I play, I'm out. So that's a problem on Fortnite's side. Our side is to find those players that love a similar experience and give them another one. So what data are you guys collecting to determine what to show a player? And then, yeah, kind of what does For You look like? Like, if you were to just give us a insight of like how it works.
Yeah, I could jump into this one. So, I mean, the first thing is For You and like Discover and personalization and those things. I think we should like dispel the notion that they're like, what I say right now is true forever. They're not. Like, these are going to be dynamically evolving things. But I don't want to say that in a way that's like disarming or alarming, because like what you said, I think is a good question of like, do we want creators to be reactive? No, we actually want people to think about this a little bit differently. Like, build the best possible game, and we want to build dynamic systems that actually react to you building the best possible stuff and helping you find an audience. Like, that's the actual vision of personalization. Like, the core tenet of Discover for us is like, how do we match players with the content we think they're going to want to play, and how do we match creators with an audience that we think will resonate with their games? And like right now,
so
if
far
everyone
they're doing
sees
a
the same
terrible
stuff,
job of that, right?
and you know, you get one of
Especially
your friends
for
to
you.
play who loves Tycoons, and they have to scroll to the very bottom through all the other things they don't like. Like, we don't think that's as good of a new player experience or a returning player experience or a friend experience or whatever. So like, the vision of that is like, it actually should be on Discover's job to react to like creators building good things, and creators should have a few jobs, but like the main job of building great games, like that should be what you focus on, not like how to fit into the algorithm at a particular time. That's like some of our philosophy on the new content stuff, which we could talk about later. That's the general gist of it. And like, how for you will personalize, it's everything from like the type of player you are, the type of genres you like. We look at players and the data. This is all anonymized, of course, and like, you know, very privacy centric, but like trying to find the types of islands that other players who play the islands that you're playing on, things that, you know, those types of signals we're looking at and putting into the For You row, so we can just kind of give the best possible shot at you finding things. But there's also like elements of in For You, but also even in genre rows, like trying to boost islands that are like new or updated, and trying to get this like idea of like fresh content throughout For You. So those are some of the things that we're just like thinking about.
I gave it to my girlfriend.
I can imagine somebody listening to this kind of being triggered about like the just build good games, because I would advocate that the community has. I know Jogo has. Like, we've created some incredible.
This is actually one of the best like, my For You pages has looked.
And
it's normally got a lot
it goes
of
out there,
on.
and it fades off into the darkness, and then you look at your bank account and you're like, am I going to survive another month to be able to do this? Right? Like,
no, I'm gonna die.
So I can imagine that being extremely triggering to some people in the audience. Are you saying that the good games that have been created in the past should be rebuilt and brought into the system and tried out to see the differences? Or like, are we just saying that maybe those experiences just don't fit into Fortnite? Like, I'm just kind of curious of like how you would articulate yourself to somebody who's like, I am making a really good experience, and people have like are confirming that for me. Yeah, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and Harold, you could totally jump in, but this is the vision that we're pushing towards. Like, we want all creators of, you know, big creators, small creators, new creators, tenured creators to build and update and like make great games. Like, if that's not what's going to find an audience, like obviously Discover is not working. Like that's the goal. Like, that is what we're building. Those are all the systems that we're trying to build to make sure this happens. And like I said this earlier, it's, you know, when Fortnite's population is like the same size week over week, you can't have every single game winning. It's just not, there's not more players to go around. So we have to, you know, work around that. And like what we really believe is like a really good Discover will help grow audiences. It'll help everyone. It'll help every creator build good things. And what I specifically mean when you ask like, what do I mean by good games? Like what almost all of our metrics in For You and genre rows and whatever, and all those different services on Discover, like what they are ranking around is like how much players play the game and like the game and come back to the game and stay in the game. Those are the types of signals that we're optimizing for now, more than anything else, more than things like popularity. We're really looking at like the quality of player engagement in an island.
That's where they add.
And then how do we combat bad actors that are mining that in their experiences in an artificial way, almost like an assembly line of like, you can't get this until you like blah 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 blah. Like, there's also that piece to this where I think we're extremely frustrated in comparing the maps that aren't good games, that are just farming the algorithm essentially, and the players are kind of like, you know, lamb to the slaughter here. Like what? Yeah, like what? How do we combat that? How are you guys combating that? What does that look like in the future of Discovery?
I didn't read this actually.
I mean, I think this is an area we're deeply concerned about, an area we focus on a lot. I mean, it led to a lot of these efforts, frankly, right? We had a system and a set of metrics that sort of like incentivize that behavior, where it was like, hey, if you follow these exact things and hit these exact markers, you know, this many minutes in engine, etc., you would kind of like get to this particular spot, which guaranteed you a certain type of exposure, and it led to a lot of the bad actors. I mean, if you were to look at the islands that we have sort of like removed from being featured within Discover, it's precisely to address some of these core issues, because we heard it loud and clear. Like, obviously now what we're hearing about is all the changes that we've made across Discover. But prior to making some of these big changes, a lot of the feedback was exactly that, Jeremy. It was, hey, we got a lot of spam in here. There's these bad actors and they're overwhelming the systems, and the inventory is just filled with all of this cruft effectively. And that led us to some pretty drastic actions to kind of move away so that we could focus on kind of like serving up those best games. Again, like John said, like, are we there yet? Have we arrived? Can we throw the big party and have the big dinner? We're not there yet. We have a ways to go, but things like personalization, things like investing heavily into things like For You, making some pretty big changes to home bar and even to the player experience coming up. Those are all our efforts in order to kind of be in good faith with you guys to say, hey, this is the way we want to carve this out so that players can deeply engage with these great experiences. I think there's also a flip side of it too, which is on the developer side to be able to, we need to put tools in place so that you guys can also continue to give a great front door, right? The thumbnail. So those are areas that we're also investing in is how to make sure that players are really interested from the get-go to engage with this great content you guys are putting out there.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about like the new thumbnail moderation. I know that that's been a source of frustration for some people. And to us, sometimes it really feels subjective, like moderation in general, where it's just like, I don't like the way that this coin is too close to whatever. And, and your map just gets taken down. It's just like offline, and it's pretty frustrating for that. But like, what improvements are being made to moderation, maybe that we don't see? But maybe even more specifically, what have you seen that it's improved over this last year? And then where are we going? Like what can we expect, moving forward?
Yeah, it goes great 2 parts. So I think on the moderation side,
I'm curious if you could abuse this.
One thing is we continue to tune our similarity scores, right? So that if you're doing you're publishing your island, in that pre-check, when we do the similarity score, we want to make sure that kind of we have that tuned in the right way, that we're not over indexing so that games that are clearly not similar in nature in terms of thumbnails are getting cut out, and making sure that if you are just looking at somebody's thumbnail and just literally ripping it off, that we're catching that. And so there's that first piece, what's at the pre-check side. I think the other more interesting part is kind of where we're going with thumbnails. When we think about thumbnails, that is the door into your experience. That is, unfortunately or fortunately, what a lot of players are making their decision based off of. They're scrolling through a bunch of thumbnails and they're looking to see, oh, is this interesting? Is there something there? Our philosophy is shifting on this from where we have been in the past, which is, if you go into Discover, especially 3 months ago, you look at, especially if we release a new season for BR, you have our epic thumbnails, which all have to do the same thing that we want developers to do, which is kind of tell the story of their game in a way that's enticing, the way that's interesting. If you're releasing new weapons, we want you to be able to kind of like invest into that thumbnail and tell that story through like more of a story and something that feels,
what story
a
is
higher
Diva
quality.
Doing fucking heart fingers?
And we don't want this perception that we see with a lot of players, which is, as I'm scrolling through Discover, there's like, clearly this is the epic thumbnails, these are the epic first party experiences, and clearly these are the other ones because they are all duplicative, or they all follow these very similar patterns, or they might be low qualities, they may be just screenshots of a game, right? And so we want effectively 3 to 6 months from now, as you scroll through Discover, wow, is this made by Epic, or is this made by Jogo? Is this made by Epic, or is this made by whoever? And so that's the kind of like the vision that we aspire to. And unfortunately, in order to accomplish that vision, we have to kind of put some guidance in there that says, hey, these are the things we're watching out for. These are the things that we're not watching out for. And we kind of want you to follow these patterns. And that's going to allow us to get to that vision, which is less about pre-check moderation and more about best practices to, to show up and discover. Because we want, to scroll through Discover and be looking at all those doors and being like, oh wow, this one's really interesting. There's something really eye-catching about this that makes me want to jump into this one. Something that's really aspirational, versus like, oh, every door is vanilla, right? Like you've been through suburbia. I grew up in a rural town, and it's like you would have those new home build outs where it's like, oh, here's every tan house, and every house has the exact same door, and it's like,
Yep.
This might be John's door. This might be Jeremy's. I have no idea. They're all exactly the same. These numbers better be right. That's not the Discover we're aspiring to. We're really interested in a discovery that like has really inviting doors for players to walk through.
Non-HOA discovery.
Yeah. That's right.
Are you guys using AI to sort some of that out in terms of similarities between
thumbnails?
We
already know they are. Why is that a question? Surely that's a waste of time, no? It gets instantly flagged.
Like generative AI as we know it in a lot of like the big LLMs. It's more like just traditional like machine learning image classification models to see things that are similar, stuff like that.
Could have just answered
nothing
yes.
like crazy fancy.
You're right back.
And is there any way to like is there any way that we could incorporate some sort of like, what if the machine is incorrect? Like what does that process look like to like for instance, one of our games is very similar to another game out there, and our designer over it spent 4 hours trying to change their thumbnail to get it to work, like just to even get our update through in a million different better ways, right? So kind of curious of like what happens when it's wrong, or like how do we combat that frustration? How do you guys see a path forward there? Just keep iterating?
No, I mean, I think the reality is there's a feedback loop that's missing there that we are working to kind of like understand how to best deliver that. And so again, it kind of goes alongside of some of these other pieces of communication where it's like, we want to make sure we deliver metrics through Creator Portal. We need to provide a feedback loop so that you guys have the opportunity to kind of like be able to communicate back to us when it is or isn't working, and those areas we deeply want to look at.
Cool. Yeah, I think that would be a really great pain point that could be healed with something there, like other than just hoping to cross your fingers that you'll get it right, and then enough of those could cause some problems for the map's performance and whatnot. But another kind of curiosity I had was like, obviously Epic Games, you guys are trying to get new types of players in this ecosystem. It's been historically very combat focused. I think recently we've seen the uprising of like powerful tycoons in our game, which is like jarring, when it first happened. But now it's a staple. We're seeing it in trailers of Fortnite, like it's being embraced. I think that's the hope, is to bring in different types of games. We want people that make single player games to find success here as well. Do you guys artificially push game modes over things that are like actually popular? Like, is there any type of pushing from you guys where you're like, ooh, tycoons are really working, like let's just pump like this into people's discovery so that like we get that moving forward? Like, do you guys do that at all? Like, I'm kind of curious because there's times like I'm combat centric and my discovery is littered with tycoons before I started playing Droid Tycoon. So just kind of curious of like why that could be and how those correlate.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah. No, just like we don't artificially push like a particular genre, but I'll say there's like two things that are often in the favor of tycoons, especially as we make a lot of changes. Is a lot of them have really good engagement quality metrics, like deep play sessions, those types of things just get rewarded. And I think these are the things that we look at and like evolve in things like for you in the genres. And the other thing, and I think like this is just a fair assessment of the ecosystem, and maybe you call it artificial, but it's not like we're pushing buttons in an algorithm, but the fact that there are more genre rows than just like shooters and BR. Like the fact that there's a bunch of genre rows is like an artificial extra surface for different types of games to get more views, and so that means you're more likely to appear, more likely to be in people's for yous and stuff like that. So like that answers your question, but we're not like pushing the scales on it or anything. I don't know if Harold, do you have anything else on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's also just like watching the wave, right? Like, so when we kind of think about the summer 2023, it feels so long ago, but it's like only up, big, huge. Everything was kind of like death runs, and we're in a big tycoon season right now, and so we are kind of watching what players are engaging with
I don't even
and
think we're in a
embracing that
tycoon season.
and
This isn't even true.
they're with the personalization, some of those things
well.
are just naturally going to show up for players. It's also going to be the case that those are the popular game modes in our ecosystem right now, and so they're going to show up in more of the popular style rows because they are in fact just more popular. And so that's kind of like what we're seeing, but there isn't this thumb on the scale type of situation.
Okay. There's been a lot of stuff from chat, Fallen Dev, Rabies, a few others out there that are kind of curious about new and updated maps in general. Previously, you had said something along the lines that we're moving away from 50K impressions in some way to a new way of doing this. But like new and updated maps feel less predictable now, right? With plenty of duplicative, spammy content. It even seems that sometimes like new and updated maps just don't even show up in Discovery. What's broken there? Is that something that's shifted that we're unaware of? Like, could you explain a little bit of like what happened to the 50K impressions and why new and updated maps just aren't even showing up in Discovery? That used to be the place where a lot of our maps could find success, and then you would go up like these people love, top rated, most engaging. You kind of climb these ladders to get yourself more and more exposure. And now that feels like it's all kind of gone. So kind of curious of that.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this one. This is where we spend a lot of time because just philosophically, like this is one of the areas that we think is just like critical to success for the whole ecosystem. Like we need to be able to find new successful good games. And if we're not doing that, like, why not just sort by CCU and call it a day? Like we have to be able to find new games and elevate things. So it's important. Maybe starting with like 50,000 impressions. We moved away from that for maybe like two reasons that I'll kind of start with is basically we have thousands of islands being published every week. We just can't guarantee like 50,000 good impressions for every single island. Like I think previously in a previous world, like you might have had your island appear in multiple places at once, surface to an audience your content wasn't a good match with. Like we saw it leading to people gaming publishing timing, so everything was published around like really good times in the ecosystem. So we wanted to move this to this kind of concept of rotation, which we feel really good about. And like to your overall call out of sometimes not working, like totally taken. We're 24/7 in a war room on like new and updated and making sure things are working as expected. But we feel really good about this concept of rotation. We are like iterating with the rotation times, but just maybe to give clarity on like how it works. Rotation basically gives every single island a lot of different chances during its testing window, first 2 weeks of its publish, and this kind of lets the algorithmic systems like gather a bunch of engagement data across like tons of different players. Basically, it's actually like looking at engagement quality over a lot of different audiences, time zones, whatever, and not just like when you publish being the most important thing. This actually ladders up to what I was saying before of like we really do feel like it is the creator's job to make good, awesome games, and it's our job to help.
So he just said what's most important is the first 2 weeks.
Match it with an audience. Like it shouldn't be up to gaming when you're posting. It should be us doing our best to rotate and find good audiences. Totally, we've seen a lot of feedback. Like one of the things that we're like really working on is it rotating too fast? Like what if a game needs a lot of players like right when it comes out for like a big matchmaking system? We get it, and like those are some of the things that we're trying to like fix quickly. But in general, we're actually very happy with this concept of rotation. I talked about the data before, but we've never seen proportionally like more new islands getting more views and more players ever. And I know it doesn't always feel that way for everyone. Totally taken. But the data is showing really good signal on this approach of rotation, just getting a lot of different eyeballs on islands.
Yeah, and I think the double down on new and updated, like, players don't always, hey, I'm going to go to a new row and that's where I'm going to find this thing. Like, they may just stay away from that. Like, it's kind of like scrolling through Netflix. These are new shows. It's like, there's definitely an appetite for some players for that. But the reality is, like, a lot of players just want to discover new or updated content organically through genre rows. So that's another area where we're really leaning into and ensuring that we're rotating new and updated content into those places. We do want to start signaling some of that. So something in the future that we're looking at is when you do an updated island, we want to highlight that. Just like if you were to look at Netflix, it's like new episode, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to jump back in. We want to be able to provide those better signals to players. But just thinking about new and updated throughout our entire ecosystem, not just purely in this new and updated row like we've done in the past. That's where we kind of want our developers' heads to be at, is that you're not sort of like vying for this one location. You're actually, if you're releasing new content, it should show up organically in multiple locations where we're meeting players where they're at.
Yeah, and maybe, sorry, I was about to say something, but just like one of the points you brought up of like the stepping stone and the ladder of like when people made a new island before, it would go through all the different rows, and they don't have those rows anymore. It's like point taken. Again, we're thinking about that. But something that I do think is important is kind of our vision of a lot of the stepping stones is we have these like newness boosts and these updated boosts in the genre rows. So we're reserving slots in these rows for islands that are new or islands that have gotten low exposure. We actually have like some low exposure slotting to like kind of try and rotate and get more islands in there that haven't gotten a shot in the sun. So things like that are just like really that vision that you had of like, the Discover dream of like making a new island, it's doing great and it's able to promote. Like that's like just one of the most important things we're tracking, and like one of the most important things we're trying to build around and focus on, so you could focus on making the games.
And that's currently non-operational, or is that operating under this new Discovery currently? Because I think like if I put myself in a small creator's shoes, like new and updated is the lifeblood of their success, in a lot of ways. They might not have the follower count to direct tons of traffic to those experiences, but they created an incredible experience, an incredible game. Like, what are you guys doing to allow small developers a chance at success, especially when it seems as if, and this is like really annoying to me, but like, I've been playing games my whole life, on the PlayStation Store, on the App Store, on my iPhone. Like, games fluctuate, popularity fluctuates. And it seems like Fortnite is the only place where the top 10 creators stay the top 10 creators. It's almost like they're cemented there. So what are you guys doing to allow these small developers who are innovating, like, incredibly, like the eyes to be able to go against somebody that might just be farming millions of followers?
Yeah, I mean, I think one way is to make sure that, like I said, that we're kind of like sprinkling throughout and not just like putting them in very specific areas. We don't think about games or developers in terms of sizes, right? We think about like in terms of like how well they're retaining and kind of what things are really resonating with players. Like we don't have, there's nothing behind the scenes that's sort of like identifying that, oh, this is a gigantic creator and developer and they've invested X, Y, and Z. The ecosystem doesn't kind of see it that way. If you're making a great experience, regardless of your size, or if you're just starting out and it's your first experience, those are getting a shot, and those just as well as the next big moment from a big established developer.
I don't feel his answer was
so
very
the social
insightful.
pieces, right?
The
like,
question was,
we have the ability. One of the privileges we have at Jogo is to be able to just like send out like,
blast.
Hey, blasts to people that have played our game.
Yep.
A small creator doesn't have that, like, right? Yep. So there's differences like that I think they compare very easily. Of just like, well, you can just spam, that again and again and again, and it could give more eyeballs to their experience. So how what would be? Oh yeah, I'm kind of curious of your thoughts.
I think it's a really good call out. Like, I mean, something we are really passionate about internally at Epic is identifying outside of Discovery. If you said for like, the Discover team and the teams adjacent to Discover are massive. If you're under Real Fest, you bump into all of us. Like, you're like, oh, wow, creator success, or this, like there's a bunch of adjacent teams. And the reality is, like, we get really hyped on incredibly awesome games internally, and are looking at it, it's like, oh, look at this great little game. Like, let's make sure that it has the opportunity to show up and discover. So those are some of the more organic things that are happening, as well as ensuring that people that are pushing on the edges, regardless of size, regardless of effort that they're putting in terms of scale, that those are getting their time in the sun too. So I think, there's a bunch of ways that we're tackling this, but the main thing is, if you are, goes all the way back to what John said, like if you are building an incredible game as a small independent developer, it is our job to ensure that that game's getting in front of an audience that can kind of get you opportunities. That being said, developers also have an onus in this, like in being able to, outside of the ecosystem, drive traffic in, and we want to provide better tooling and better opportunities there as well for developers to be able to bring people into the ecosystem to come play their games. So it's a little bit of A and B.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, in like the juice on some of the algorithms and how we're thinking about things in like new rows and all of that, or the content system, is like quality of engagement is the most important thing. It's not the number of people looking at it. It's how, when people are playing it, are they having a good time? Are they showing like signs of success and coming back to it, and like extended periods of play and all those types of things, some of which are in the docs. If someone like a large creator brings in a huge audience to it, and they bring in X number of players who only play for 30 seconds, it's not going to help. It actually might hurt the island in like this new world. But if they make an amazing game and bring a big audience, yes, that will help too. But it's really important to us that we balance popularity as only one of the metrics in the things that we're ranking on, and like actual engagement quality, like just to make sure everything you're saying, like new creators are getting opportunities to succeed. It's like one of the very important things that we look at in the data, and we look at in how we frame like what success looks like in the system.
I think like it would, I just would want to impress upon you guys the importance of the statement, like, we don't really see the size. I would argue that it is worth like having some sort of plan for the size of like developers, like, and like how much of an impact they have on their social side versus the ones that are the up and comers. Like, I don't know what that actually looks like, but I see the importance of like passing the baton and giving the spotlight to people that just don't have audiences, like, and this is their one avenue, like, so I just want to make sure that I say that, because I do think, like, being a solo creator before Jogo, I looked at discovery and I saw the problems of getting my games in front of people. Luckily, I was also a content creator, so I was able to leverage that. But by relying on discovery solo, it just did not seem like a plan. Like, it just did not seem smart as a business decision because
being honest
of how it operates. So that's why I helped start Jogo, like, and build Jogo, is because, we partnered with something that we could actually utilize, which is like eyeballs and directing them to a specific spot. And so I do think that there are people that have that advantage and have been given that advantage. And if those advantages were even, I would say we would have a lot more better games than we do now. Like, I just believe that, truly. There's so many passionate smaller creators out there that are creating incredible stuff that, like, people need to see. And so I want that for Discovery, and hopefully that's not just hopefully that gets translated to you guys. But I think that there is an importance there to pay attention to it because of its value. So yeah, but I want to we have like 10 minutes left. There's so much to talk about.
What?
I want to talk about just one other
10 minutes left, and they've
topic,
not even really answered
glitch,
any questions.
hashtag Sandman. Thank you for bringing these up.
That's crazy.
But, I want to talk about sponsored, bro. It seems mostly dominated by top creators who are essentially creating a loophole where they spend absurd budgets and get a good chunk back from the engagement pool. How is sponsored row going? And is it living up to what you guys expected it to be?
They're just going to say yes. Originally, we love sponsored.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is, like, we're not done with sponsored row. Like, we've got a ways to go. We are, we are looking at Sponsored Row the same way we look at other parts of Discover, which is like, regardless of what people are willing to invest and everything, does this meet sort of like the quality guidelines that we kind of have set up for Discover? Because definitely what we don't want to do is we don't want islands to be showing up through sponsor as sort of like a loophole to get featured in Discover. That being said, like in terms of people that are spending these massive budgets, things like
you can literally do what he just said.
Like that, the team that works, and there's a team very much focused on the Sponsored Row area, is very much looking at a couple different avenues on how to continue to improve that. We have been dealing with some fraud issues, and those have been solved in the last couple weeks. We've been dealing with like the content side of Sponsored Rows the last couple weeks as well, and so we're going to continue to iterate on that. But the story's not fully written on Sponsored.
I don't understand how they've only just fixed the fraud, and it's took them over 6 months.
Bro, there's more work to be done. For us on the Discover surface itself, the placement of Sponsored Row is also something that's really important. So we're constantly looking at the value of placement. Is the Sponsored Row kind of like getting in front of other places within Discover that it shouldn't, right? Like I think just this morning we made a shift where Epic Picks, which we are saying these are excellent games, these are games that should be in front of you, we're currently sitting below Sponsored Row, and we've shifted that to make sure it's sitting above Sponsored Row. So those are things that we're kind of looking at for Sponsored Row. But the main thing is that that's not fully, there's more work to be done there.
I don't like near enough all of these answers. They don't offer any insight.
It seems like maybe not the best developed for the platform. I think like it's brought up a lot of community concerns, and I think like
what's up, Jiggler?
Okay, there's two things I kind of want to like deviate to. One is communicating data that you guys see that we can't.
Yes, we need
I think
this.
Like many of us in chat are probably on Fortnite.gg, just like looking at stats and trying to make assumptions and understandings, and
I literally put a ChatGPT kind of image
and
on
relaying
here.
that information back and
we
forth.
should
to
be able
try
to
to
get
find
some kind of like averages against
for our
other
created
islands.
experiences. Is there any reason why you guys don't share things more regularly in terms of just data points that would be valuable? Like I remember, I think it was a year ago at this point, you guys
average
did a little article about publishing bans and off-platform takedowns. And I remember that being one of those posts that was like it was a breath of fresh air, in a room full of bad, frustrating things going on. Like, is there any reason why you guys are restrictive of like the victories or even just like really good things that are happening? Because I think we don't see those things. We get like, an article here, fast forward a month, we get another article, and it's like we just have to fill in the gaps in between. Is there any desire on your guys' end to share, those types of things with us?
No, fuck you.
I mean, from my perspective, like, I don't think we have problems with sharing more data, more frequently, and like talking about the things that we think are important for the ecosystem. Honestly, don't have an issue. That's kind of one of the reasons we're here. That's why I think that's why they have me on here to talk about some of the data and some of the things around it. But yeah, overall, I don't have any particular like issues with it. I think we want to do it more and just be thoughtful about how we do it and make sure it's like effective and getting to all the creators. I'm sure we'll bring plenty to discussions at Unreal Fest too.
Yeah. And then I want to just create an opportunity before we wrap up for you guys to share like a roadmap with us. Like, what are the big things that are coming? What are some stuff that we can prep for? What's happening with Discovery? I mean, today's a big day, for the 4U changes. I think that'll cause a big wake, in the community.
Was there an update today?
Like, if you were to just kind of prep us of what's to come, what would you guys articulate?
Is that why my 4U isn't just full of
yeah, I mean,
maps?
man, there's so much here. First, let's talk about the communication piece, which is kind of like building
this is
off
the
what
best
we're
it
just
has
saying
been,
about sharing
but I didn't
data.
know there was
Like
an update.
another area we want to be very clear about is like
Still not
just sharing
perfect,
in
though.
general. Hopefully, the community has felt like with things like this, with things like going down Real Fest. And I know, that there was a little concern that it's like, what, Discover's not even showing up in Unreal Fest, and we definitely were. It was just a matter of getting what that discussion's going to look like, and
they don't want to
forums that we can be at Unreal Fest. On our socials, John and I are very engaged with looking at how people are engaging there, and making sure we're being responsive either through our official channels or through my indirect channel. We want to be able to communicate more openly what's going on. And so when we think about experiments or things that might feel like glitches, we're going to be a little bit more transparent than we have been in the past, to be able to say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we're shipping. In terms of roadmap, I think we're shipping stuff every single day, to be quite honest. Like, there's just a tremendous amount of stuff that's being shipped every day. We're actually working with the team right now on better ways, and I think you guys are going to get you guys should be in for some more transparency when it comes to, like, here's the big wins that we're seeing over some period of time, and we want to make those a little bit more public and talk about those in upcoming tests. I know that's a big area of concern as well. I think in terms of the immediate things, today, we've made some changes to Homebar. There's been a lot of push back and forth with Homebar, and sort of like, what is Homebar? What does that look like? And providing a little bit more structure to Homebar, making sure that we're being very upfront that we are, testing Epic picks in Homebar and rotating those through. Also, the personalized row ordering, that's a massive update. We have been doing personalization at the 4U level. This is bringing that same logic to all of Discover and making sure that the rows within Discover, specifically the genre rows, are sort of matching up and being personalized. And then, the sponsored row piece of like, hey, we want to make sure sponsored rows in the right spot, that it's not overcrowding content that players are really resonating with. If they want to keep scrolling down and go to sponsored and be like, hey, I want to check out this game, that's great. It's a great opportunity to bring your game in front of people. But at the same time, we want to make sure that you can easily get to popular, you can easily get to Epic Picks. So those are like immediate changes. At Unreal Fest, like I alluded to earlier, we're going to really deep dive on sort of like the next chapter of the player experience for Discover. Awesome. We're really going to deep dive into how we want to empower developers to tell their stories in ways that they never have been in the past. Kind of like thinking about those front doors, like what does the best version of front doors look like for developers? And so I can't go into a huge amount of detail today, but I can promise you we're taking that part very seriously, and it's going to be a moment at Unreal Fest, and obviously we'll communicate that outwards as well. Those are sort of like the most immediate things. I think that the main thing we want to make sure that developers understand is, like, we're committed to this. John and I take it very seriously. We think about this. We're dreaming about this. We're listening. I'm having a lot of one-on-one conversations with many of you, even in my DMs, to make sure that we are delivering the next generation of Discover, and that it's not just, this is great for developers, but it's something that players are also coming into and being exposed to games that like deeply resonate. That was a couple of good questions. Again, I hate to keep harping on the personalization piece, but like the reality is, like, we could tell you all day long that you should be playing these sets of games. But if it's just you jump into Discover and you immediately feel like, oh, this thing knows me, it understands me, that is like the best outcome for all of us. And that's what we're very much committed to, and going to continue to move that forward.
That's great. I think that's a very exciting future. Now, we are technically out of time, but I'm getting the A-OK that we can go through a few more questions here. So,
good shit.
And I'm not doing rapid fire chat in a way that your questions are not valuable.
But why the fuck am I lagging?
Literally, I don't know why you guys are making this an hour long. We should make this 3 hours long, right? And really dive in. But maybe a part 3 is on its way. It needs to be an hour so they don't actually answer any question. From chat, if you guys don't mind, and let's just keep these questions quick, then they'd actually answers like as short as we can, but also hopefully as helpful as possible. So, first one: why were established games destroyed by Maribline? Sorry, established genres destroyed.
Okay, so this is a question around the amount of genres. 28 genres Yeah, 28 categories or genres. So here's the reality on genres. I think it's very well known. Like we had tags. People were basically using tags, titles, descriptions to effectively keyword stuff their ways into particular genres and categories. We saw some like super rough ones, right? You go into fashion, you're like, wait, what? I'm driving a car, and then it's like, oh, I have a gun. This isn't the fashion game I signed up for.
Data
in order to address that and to sort of like again, kind of looking holistically, we identified 12 genres that we feel like best represent the entire ecosystem as it is, to kind of like clean up, and then we also rolled out self-select. So we're counting on developers to only have one option to choose and choose the genre that best fits their game. We're also looking at on the backside of that, making sure that that aligns. In terms of the number of genres, we're not done yet. We have more work to be done here. We hear you guys loud and clear. We're going to take that very seriously. We're going to continue to iterate on genres. So expect more coming soon.
And Maestro Shark was like a little concerned because like there's certain genres that are unique to games that don't fit into typical categories, like subgenres, subcategories. Like, any thoughts there?
Yeah, we're looking very deeply at subgenres. Yeah.
Okay.
More to come.
Jolton asks, has Epic considered adding subgenres? Great, perfect. It's Ray B says, does every new map get a testing chance in the new tab? Yes or no?
Yes, it should. There are very rare exceptions where things like spam, stuff like that. But almost every single new island will get a shot at new. If it doesn't, you should post and communicate it to us. But we're watching that very carefully.
I love the yes or no. It's just like, tell me, short and sweet here. Real Facts asks, maps that get 100 unique plays have doubled. What about 5,000 unique players? Has it doubled as well? AKA, what is the real impact from this Discover change on games that already had a higher amount of players?
That's a great question. So when I use that data, I talk specifically about new islands. Like that's what we're really focusing on with these changes, is like newly published islands having a chance. There's obviously like a bunch of legacy islands we care about too, but a lot of what we're starting with is making sure that new islands are getting a chance in the sun. So doubling the opportunity, doubling new islands getting 100 players is true. When you look at 10,000 plus players, so like the very end, we're seeing that about flat, maybe like a little bit up, but like you'd have to squint to see the effect. So like we're seeing a lot more islands at the lower tail getting more shots. We're seeing about the same amount of islands like becoming really big hits, and then the middle we're actually losing a little bit. So the islands getting over 1,000 to 5,000 players is a little bit below where it was, and that's basically, you could just see it in the data, basically going a lot more towards these 100 players. This is actually one of the things that we're tracking very carefully, because we think this is like a lot of that like graduation story and stuff like that, and like actually hitting the Discover dream. So that's what we're monitoring very, very closely, and one of the important kind of like metrics we have in our head that we track every day.
Like Sorella asks, and I think Roblox has played around with this. I think you guys accidentally did an update with this too. Why don't you remove the player numbers under the thumbnails again? That causes a lot of problems. Players only go players only go where there are many players, so new maps have no chance.
That's true. It's like social proof.
Yeah, I mean, we take social proof really seriously. It's why we did an open test last week on dislike. We're going to continue to kind of tune that up and roll that out more widely. We think there's multiple ways we can signal to players, how great is this island? CCU is just one of those metrics. And some rows it works really well. Some rows it's like, yeah, I do want to see the CCU. And other rows it's like, no, I want to see like, in general, do people like this game? Do they not? And then sometimes you want to see both of those things. So that's kind of like how we think about social proofing across the entire ecosystem. But we're really leaning into that area as well.
PB Production says, how will personalization work when this month has changed what games players are playing with categories being hidden?
It's a good question. It's going to be dynamic. It'll just evolve as the ecosystem evolves. So the answer is it will change. It will change based on what's more popular, more prevalent in the ecosystem. So we're watching closely to make sure like genres that might have been we're watching all of it. It's going to change as things are changing.
Yeah, it's not stuck in a moment in time, basically. That's like the main thing for developers to know. Like, it'll continue to evolve as you evolve, and the games you engage with evolve. All those things are going to be factors in there.
But maybe a good place to come back to is like in personalization, and an invariant that I will, that we all commit to is the most important thing is like the quality of engagement and like players coming back to your game and playing it for a long time and having extended sessions, like all those types of things. That will always be the most important thing in any personalization, ranking row, anything like that your game can sustain an audience.
Okay. Gizmo Maps asks, for a good experience, are social metrics involved like parties and invites? How does this impact single player games? What about games that aren't supposed to be returned to one and done?
Yes, those are great questions. And so one of the things that we're evolving is exactly that. Like, how are different metrics going to be weighted for different genres and different types of games? We have like a few very basic thoughts, and things are dynamic right now. But the idea is that different types of games will have different measures of success that are still dynamic, but like being compared to similar games. That's like, in process of being delivered and thought about.
Great. Sorry if I'm butchering your guys' names, by the way. This is not my intention. But Grainbull asks, sounds like community tools like Fortnite GG are going to be less useful then. Are all tabs going to be curated for player or just a For You tab?
So, yeah, when we say tab, I know we're talking about rows. Like, the genre rows specifically are going to be moving up and down. That's what we're starting with. But we will look across all of Discover as well. In terms of, the Fortnite GG piece of like, hey, you can kind of see exactly the ordering that everybody sees in Discover. We need to work with them to identify the best way there. And we don't have a full solve yet there.
Okay. And then Enrique asks, what genre row do you expect roguelikes to fit in? Feels like it's especially impacted genre that has been affected from the change.
Yeah, I mean, roguelikes is something we're watching very closely. There's a couple different areas that roguelikes end up showing up in, depending on how that developer is categorizing, right? Because they're self-selecting the genre, so they're actually choosing where they want their roguelike to be placed. We are, subgenres are going to be a big part of providing some of that clarity there.
Well, thank you guys. I've got one last question for us to end on, but chat, you guys have been incredible. Thank you for firing all those questions. Obviously, we've got a million for you guys, so I think we probably should do another one of these, maybe like after Unreal Fest. And
so as soon as they kind of
those
know
types of conversations happen.
But how long are they going to take to actually
is like, what is the single most important recommendation that you have for developers struggling to find success in Discover?
Because there needs to be speed on the iteration.
For me, I come from the player experience side, right? Like, I did UX UI at Epic for a long time. As a head of a design for a mobile studio. So I kind of think a lot about how you want to tell your story. Something I've been really, I would really focus on that front door piece, whether it be the thumbnail, whether it be like do some investment into your detail views. Like, those are where players are making their decisions. They're sort of looking at that and reacting to that thumbnail. And then the immediate next step is, you click on it, you get the detail view. If you remember back in the day, we would just bypass that and take you straight into the lobby. And that was an intentional move to like add some little friction to tell your story. And for those that have invested into great trailers or cutscenes, or even just forget trailers, right? Because we're talking about smaller developers. Like, if you can pull together a really nice series of game video showing your game, I think that is a major factor in terms of the decision-making point for players. John?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I think everything that you said, Harold, is true. I could always say, making awesome games that players stick with, but everyone knows that. But I do think, especially with our new strategies around rotating new content, like giving boosts for updated things, giving boosts for new things, like people are going to be seeing a lot of different stuff, and having a really aspirational, exciting, like front door to your game, I do think will be more important. Some of the things that might have looked similar last time, which might have brought success historically, that's not going to be the necessarily what's going to bring the most success this time. So definitely thinking about like how you could stand out and like make your game look even more awesome, I think is probably like the best first step you could take.
That's great. Thank you guys. Harold, John, seriously, thank you a million times over. This is so refreshing to be able to hear, these types of answers. I know we could probably go a lot deeper and keep talking about this. My one request would be, not everybody has the privilege of being able to go to Unreal Fest. And so if those conversations are happening about something this important, I would love for that to be live streamed in any type of capacity, or at least video going live as soon as possible, to give more knowledge to people that might not be able to go out there. I know it can be very expensive for a lot of people.
Oh, so totally. We will make sure that everything we're communicating at Unreal Fest gets out to the full community. 100%.
It's amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. And thank you, chat, for being here. This was a great discovery conversation. Hopefully you guys at home have a little bit more information to go off of, and we'll keep figuring this out together. So much love to...
Wasn't terrible. So yeah, it seems like they know what they need to do, but there needs to be a certain amount of speed with making the changes. Because a lot of people kind of seem like they're holding off on uploading their map because of how bad the discovery is right now. Lots of people are quitting the ecosystem and moving to Roblox. So they need to kind of work a bit faster if they still want to have creators creating. But yeah, my For You page, this is the most, for me, it's ever been. I've not played these kind of games. I mean, I played this one. So it's quite similar to History. But beforehand, it always used to be Red vs. Blue 1v1s. So at least I've technically played Brain Rot, so I mean it's getting there. It's still not that good. I think the For You page should have way more slots as well, right? This is not a good sample size, because I would want to scroll down right now. It's what I'm trying to do. Okay, what do we need to do? We was trying to add in a HUD message thing. So pack feed device. We got a new device. We're trying to add in a HUD feed for when a player opens a pack. This will be cool for if you get like a rare pack. Oh wait, one sec. Our collect button isn't even in here on a couple of these. So collect button. Okay, it's just this one. Although, so free. I clicked the wrong ones with that one. My bad. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this map does good. It's only got a couple of days left of development. I may even spend some money on, not Sponsored Row. I think Sponsored Row is hella broken right now still, in terms of price. Not worth it. But I might buy a video for it. We'll see. Get to update content. Okay, whatever. But yeah. Still over $1 is way too high. I'm curious what Roblox is. What is Roblox? Was it CPM for ads? For advertising your... I don't know, is it called map? Between $1 and a tenth of a dollar. Okay. So yeah, back to our map then, because yeah, we also want to release this pretty soon. We've done a lot of good work. Not today, but yesterday. Let's add this in. And then I'm going to open normal Claude Code because I just, inside of here. Oh, wrong thing. Inside of here. Let me tell something to it. Okay. You know what? I should have put that in plan mode. It doesn't matter. Quickly checking changes before it does anything. Quick. Boom. I think it already did it pretty quick. For real, I missed a stream yesterday and you basically finished half the map. I don't think I streamed yesterday. I didn't sleep really, so I didn't stream. Yeah. I didn't stream because I don't think I was talking very loud when I was talking. Not that I normally do it anyway, but I figured there'd be no point of coming live during that period. But let's see if this let's see if Claude one-shot it. Because that was one prompt. It did get an error actually. Yeah, just auto set whatever. I'm sure you'll get it right. I believe in you, Claude. Oh, just since the last time I saw the map, you made a ton of progress. Yeah, we did a boatload of shit while I was on no sleep. I did also game a lot on that same day, but only in like small periods, because getting stressed out at the game was making my heart not feel good with how tired I was. I didn't want to die. So I worked a lot on the map. And then I passed out. I think, what else do we need? We need daily rewards right now, because we've only got the code pad, which I don't actually have any yet. Plus -5 years on the lifespan. To be honest, since I was very young, I haven't slept for long periods of time. Like, I have many no sleep days. Okay, let's see, did it do it? It's still in the process of doing it. Even right now, I know I should sleep early, but all I want to do is drink a coffee. I got like a caffeine addiction. But yeah, I'm gonna try and sleep early so I can like recoup on some of the lost sleep. Not that that's how sleep works, but yeah, I'll try and get like 7 hours at least today, just so that my heart can chill. I don't know why it's taking so long. Was it through as add in 2 lines of code? No. Yeah, literally. I should have just done it myself, but yeah, fuck it. We can be lazy and let it do it for us. Yeah, how we've been. Have you did lots of progress in your map, Kakashi? Kinda. Oh shit. What you been doing then? Just chilling. It still has 2 errors. We can just paste them in. I'm feeling a little bit ill. Sorry about that. Okay, so I didn't do it in one go. Two goes isn't bad. That's why it's doing this. We'll do the daily chess thing. Where is it? Puzzles, daily puzzle. While it's just cooking. Okay, so we need white to move. So we just go. No? Okay. I don't know. Still not done though. I don't know, I have no clue. What's up, Vlad? How you doing today? Oh, it is this one. I'm just gonna move everywhere, fuck it. We're not even gonna use our brain, we're just gonna spam everywhere. Right, it's there then. Okay. And then and then is it here? Yes. And then here. Okay. Chilling, making a sandwich. Hell yeah. Love a sandwich. I'm ready for bed, to be honest, but this is why I have a caffeine addiction. We can delete this random rock. I guess the roll station can get its own what's it called? Oh, with the player reference, we still need to do it. How's your progress going? Yeah, really good. We did so much stuff yesterday. We can link up player references, but we need to make them actually work correctly. They don't yet work. Yeah, we're just waiting for this to see if our new HUD code is going to work correctly or not. Essentially, I wanted for, let me think. I wanted, you know, like a kill feed type of HUD feed in the top left. So I normally give it loads of code to work from. This time I just said kind of do this, and so far it's one mistake and we're just waiting for it to do it. So it only took 2 prompts, which is pretty sick. What about you? You working on anything? Or doing any updates or something? What is it? Is it Monster Studios? Fuck. Can't spell. Studio, no S. No new map, I see. Come on, turn the radio on. Saturday night. Not right now. No, busy, too busy. Lots of work plus started a day job. You started a day job, but you already have a normal day job, no? Like a second day job. I've been trying to find a normal job. Not going well so far, to be honest. Ideally, I'd find a part-time one, so I can still do all the like UEFN shit. You know, like in an ideal world, it'd be like a morning. No, it'd be a nighttime day job. Nighttime day job. It'd be a day job in the night hours, so I can go gym, work on UEFN, and then do the job when my brain's tired and I won't actually need to think. I can just go brain dead. Hopefully we'll get back to it next week. Yes, it's difficult with like energy levels and free time in it when you got a normal job. When I said the farm rebuild, sure. When I get a normal job again, I will start kickboxing again, because I've not been in like a year or 2. Just because it's so expensive on top of normal gym as well. I'm starting as a designer at the print shop to have more financial security. Yes. Yeah, that's like a negative of UEFN in it. There's no stability unless you always got millions of players. Okay, so it actually did it wrong twice, I guess. Nope, that's still incorrect. Nah, they are still incorrect. I didn't fix either of them. I think I'm gonna open it in Claude website actually, just because I don't know if this has like the current skill or not. I have to make a new chat. I've reached 100 uploads. No way. I'm gonna stop this from doing anything for the moment. We'll start a new chat. Okay, I didn't mean to send this part of it. I didn't even read it. Okay, so we needed currency bridge. So currency bridge, pack state, and pack feed device. And I'll take a screenshot of these errors. Wait. I don't want that part to show it. Don't need that either anymore. Okay. These are the files. The files we are currently working within. Check the screenshot for the 2 remaining errors. There we go. If you need to see any of the files, then just ask. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get this right first try, to be honest. Oh well. Hotel, hallelujah. Okay. I wonder what the fix will be, because it's saying over, well, before I closed the chat, it was saying that it was because this wasn't compiling correctly. Even though it is. I'm going to start this still in plan mode, to be honest. Even though I'm not going to be using it. Just to see what it's doing. 2 errors. What is the fix? Bad prompt, I don't care. I'm just waiting for the Google version to load anyway. Good luck with your designing at the print shop, by the way, Vlad. Wow, that was so sad. That was my last bit of coffee for today. It's gonna get me turning emo. I guess we'll go back on chairs. What's the rest of the puzzles we have? Oh. Okay. Puzzles. Solve puzzles.
Oops, I blundered. Can you find a way to checkmate me?
No, I can't. Oh, one sec, guys. My girlfriend just come back. I'm gonna go say hello to her. I'll be 2 minutes. So have a drink of water as well. Sleep is healthy. Yeah, I know. I definitely should sleep more. But one sec. Promotional products and maybe some brochures, vehicle wraps, billboards. That sounds pretty sick, to be honest. Hopefully that's going well for you. Okay, I'll be back. I'm just gonna get some ice. Okay, we're back. I probably won't stream for that long just because I'm feeling ill. How should we fix that while so it compiles? Since something really as a type. Let's see what the suggestion is over here. Looking at that error. Fix. Adding there. Yeah, I probably will see it soon just because I feel ill. I don't know if I just said this. I think I'm fucking going insane. So, because I don't normally get ill, it's probably because my like immune system's weakened or something. We'll compile it one more time and we'll reopen it as well, even though it shouldn't be anything to do with reopening. Am I blind? Where is this? Where's the error here? Oh, down here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh wait, I didn't even enter it. I don't know why it was letting me compile it then. Unpack. Feed. Device. Line 219. So quickly paste it here. There's not really many reasons for me to keep doing it this way. That's just I'm bored. So I'm putting it in both chats. Okay, so now we actually have 1 million of errors apparently. Okay, well, we will at least have this working. Remember, you should be sending me full scripts to download, not the snippets to fix it myself. I have attached the current code, and I am going to screenshot all of the errors for you to fix. This is why I normally send it loads of code to begin with, so it doesn't make a boatload of errors. Oh well, not the end of the world. If these are all the same errors, then just want to make sure. Yep. Do you use Epic's AI? Yeah, sometimes. But not all the time though. Sometimes I use it to ask questions on like the code, I guess, or how to do something specifically, and then I'll send it to Claude. But a lot of the time I don't use it. But if I do, it's to send it to Claude. You know, like, say this doesn't know the answer to something, I will ask it to Epic AI and then send the information back here. The Epic AI is a bit annoying in that you can't make it have a conversation between the two. It will say, Epic AI will start being like, oh no, you can't talk to other robots, like it's like some jealous, insecure fucking bitch or something. So that's a bit annoying. But yeah, you just delete the part in the response that says anything about AI. I think it's struggling to pull up the names, but it already does names in leaderboard. Verse. Yeah, I should just send it closed next time. Because it's having a lot of confusion, I guess, thinking about how to do it. I might update my headshot Hitman eventually to remove all the Map Academy room shit, because it's honestly, I think it's still broken. And I could just write it with Claude and it'd be not broken, because it has so much stuff in there that I don't need. Let's see. Pack feed device. Replace. How many errors are we at now then, boy? 7. It's better than 9. Okay, you forgot to use spatial math apparently. Okay. What's the other errors? Okay, so I'm gonna send it, okay, you forgot this. Are they all the same errors? Okay. Then this needs to use a string to message helper, which we already have. If it needs a string to message, we already have that helper in one of the MA files. And then it's just that one, isn't it? Or did I already send that one? I'm off to drive some rally. Oh hell yeah. Have a good night. Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate it. Enjoyed the rally. Or driving in the rally. Have a good one, man. As soon as we get this ready, I'm going off myself, to be honest. Have a wash, go to sleep. Because, yeah, I got sniffles. I'm going to run a save real quick. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really helpful checking changes. I'm gonna really know what to do when I come back to these, and if something breaks. I could just wait. Actually, no point being impatient, I guess. Okay, so then. By the way, you are having troubles. I spelled troubles wrong. Oh well. Extracting the agent / player's name. You can check the leaderboard UI for the pattern. Might even actually have a bath instead of a shower today. I'm gonna turn the bath water on so I can go sit in my own dirt. Two players left. Damn. Why do we do it in here? I'm so tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. Shit. Okay. This is nearly done. I want to finish this before we go to sleep. Just let it auto accept. I already checked in changes in case it breaks loads of shit, to be honest. Yeah. I'm gonna sleep really good today, I think. Baby, I'm praying on you tonight. How much you made with Fortnite map? Depends which map. In lifetime, probably like I think 10k. So not really that much if you think about it. Because obviously I've been doing it for a long time, and I do quite a lot of hours, so not really that much for the time invested. What about you? Yeah, but you learn new thing. Yeah, I mean, back when I started, it was way easier to get like really good places in Discovery. For example, my maps used to be shit, but they still got like more players, and you never know which maps are gonna perform well, right? Because I made my highest paying map, like earned thousands of dollars, right? Only took a week to make. It was this one. Yeah, it took a week to make, and it was my highest earning map. So, and I didn't think that would perform that well. So, one sec. Do I need to do any new wiring? And then, hopefully this will work, so I'll go to sleep. No changes. Okay, so I don't need to do anything. Right? That's what it said. Okay, no, we do need to add it. What's it on about? Saying there's nothing new to add in. The thumbnail is important, no. Yeah, thumbnail is the most important thing. Has to get clicks, and it has to not be clickbait as well. There it is, pack feed device. Because it isn't going to load anyway until I've got this stuff in. Baby, I'm praying on you tonight. I can smell your doo-doo-doo. Currency bridge, add feed. There we go. Move that away down here. Might need to push changes again to see that it even works. But we'll find out real quick. Okay. What map is? This map is unpacking brain rot cards. It's not released yet. Hopefully in the next couple of days we can get this out. I'll just check on my bath. 2 secs. Alright. Yeah, hopefully we get this released in a couple of days. Tomorrow would be nice, but I doubt it. Yeah, so if it's not working, then we will go to sleep. No, we'll wash and go to sleep. Can you even emote when you're falling like this? No. Also, don't hear my game sound. Oh yeah, I turned the game sound off because I was watching the live stream. Still can't hear it though. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, let's see if it's working. All good. I can't tell because of all the prints. Okay. So I cannot see this UI on my screen. Do we even compile it though? We did because the pack feed device is there. Right, let's debug. I'm gonna have a bath, babe.
Thought she was already in there.
No.
What are you doing?
Well, what do you think I'm doing?
Watching porn?
Really? Yeah.
That's funny.
It's not funny.
That's hilarious.
Quesadilla, crocodilla.
No,
Yeah.
no, you didn't look a second ago.
I didn't even see you. What are you on about?
You just see that.
Uh-huh.
No. Oh yeah, definitely can't eat beef.
What made you ill again?
It made me sick again.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so
And then
weird.
my wife asked if I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I said no.
Zebras.
Looks like it did it even actually load? Don't look like it loaded. I don't see any of the prints. Right. We added it though. Let's retry it again real quick. I do want to get in the bath now because I did already start running it. But we'll quickly see what it's saying. Good. Broadcast was fine. That means the bridge feed and that's just the devices push the on begin never ran. Okay, we can see, I guess. Oh, there we go. It's showing now. Okay, it's showing. That's good. Yeah, it's showing now. Actually, it's showing now. I will want it changed, but for now, I gotta go. Thank you, Lord. Cool. Because what I wanted to change was, you see right now, when I get a pack, I want it to be transparent, the background, and then the text to be different colors. But it's fine, it does the job. We're going to check in changes. I'm going to go in the bath. Thank you everybody that came and joined. Hard looking. Yeah, so thank you everybody. Appreciate you dropping by. I'm going to go wash and go sleep, and I'll be live about 12 o'clock tomorrow, UK time. So 14 hours from now. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully see you tomorrow, and goodbye.